everyone, it's Carrie with Happy Fish Tarot, reeling in wisdom from the Sea of Tarot. And I want to talk with you about something I've discussed a little bit in previous blogs and videos. It is the topic of resistance to creativity. Sometimes the creative endeavors that you hold the dearest to your heart, so the things that fuel your soul, the things that give your life meaning, can be the hardest things you will ever do. When I was thinking about this concept, it brought to mind the Ten of Wands. So the figure on the card, to me, kind of looks like he's struggling to continue. And we know that the wands are a suit of passion and forward movement and growth and creativity. So I get the impression that he's following a path that was initially forged by his own sparks of enthusiasm, yet now he's at the point where he's having a really hard time pushing forward. So in theory, I think a lot of us want to live creative lives, right? So we want to write, we want to start a business, we want to learn to cook. We have all these ideas about these activities that will enrich our lives, but when we try to actually do those things, a lot of the times we experience this resistance. Sometimes we even self-sabotage. So we've barely started working on a project, and then all of a sudden we're making a U-turn and we're just going right back to the status quo. So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video and a blog post about tarot spreads for writing. So if you saw that, you might know that I'm currently in the middle of National Novel Writing Month. So this is a 30-day challenge, happens every November, and the purpose is to get would-be writers to bust out a 50,000-word novel during the month of November. This really hits home for me because I've always wanted to be a writer, but I've always had resistance and I've always struggled a little bit with writing. So I cherish writing. I need to write. I love writing, yet every time I sit down to work on the next stretch of my novel, I feel kind of like this guy on the Ten of Wands. I feel resistant. I feel weary. I feel like I've taken on more than I can handle. I feel like I kind of want to forget about writing and just go look at cat memes on the internet instead. So this doesn't mean that I don't experience those moments of euphoria and those waves of inspiration and the satisfaction that comes from doing something really creative that's really meaningful for you. I do have those moments, and you will too if you're working on something that really and truly feeds your soul. But the moments of joy are earned with moments of struggle and persistence. One of my favorite books is The Artist's Way, and the author, Julia Cameron, compares creative living to training for a marathon. So she says that you'll log 10 slow miles for every 1 fast mile, and that's very true for creative projects. Sometimes we feel like we're kind of just going along, struggling, and then sometimes we have that 1 mile where everything really flows. I think it's essential to use your own intuition when something's hard for you in your creative endeavors. So you really have to kind of ask yourself, is the struggle worth it? Are you growing? Are you learning? Do you have kind of that deep, wordless knowing that this is what you're meant to do despite the battle and despite the resistance? And for me, the answer is yes. It's definitely worth the moments of struggle when I get those moments of flow and I feel like I'm really truly living. So it may be hard, but I do feel that I'm doing what I'm meant to do. I was recently reading an interview with Kate DiCamillo. She's one of my favorite authors, and she was talking about how writing is very challenging for her. She was saying that every morning she wakes up and she thinks about how she doesn't want to write, but she does it anyway. And she gets these moments where even though it's hard for her, she feels just this deep conviction and this knowing that this is what she's meant to be doing. So her exact quote was, "Just because it's hard for me doesn't mean it's not what I'm supposed to be doing." So I wanted to really just kind of give that message to anyone out there who, like me, might be in need of that message right now. Thank you for watching. You can visit me at happyfishtarot.com, and I put out videos every Tuesday, so I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.